This chapter was just amazing, from the sacrifice from Atlas to the great speech at the events that unfolded with Dr. Vegapunk and Clover 26 years ago. The speech was just epic, and when they showed Robin, the last survivor of Orihara, this chapter was on a whole nother level of epicness. Well, let's just say that it's the top 3 chapters of Egghead. Now let's talk about, Clover and Dr. Vegapunk. To know that Clover is initial D, he's with the clan. He is the man. And see what transpired between Clover trying to recruit Dr. Vegapunk in his research of the Void Century, and to actually see that he had to sacrifice his well-being for the future, to see that his brother was assassinated on the spot. And I said that a few chapters ago, that it's so crazy that Dr. Vegapunk said that he feels so sorry for the D clan, and maybe the reason why he felt so sorry because maybe some of them was unalive on the spot. If the government knew that this person had the middle initial D, they would get executed on the spot. And I feel like that speech when Dr. Vegapunk said that he feels so sorry for the D initial, I feel like he was saying sorry to Clover. It is so sad, and I know Dr. Vegapunk felt every moment of that when Orihara got messed up with the Buster Call. But you have to understand where Dr. Vegapunk is coming from. 4 years before the Buster Call on Orihara, when Clover tried to recruit him for the research, and I can't say if Dr. Vegapunk was alongside and said yes 26 years ago on Clover trying to recruit him, I can say the research for the Void Century would be 200 plus proficient, right? If Dr. Vegapunk was there also trying to research the Void Century, everything during this broadcast would be answered, and nothing will be puzzled, because Dr. Vegapunk don't know so much. He don't want to speculate so many things just off of what he already know right now and what he could have known if he had more time. Just saying, 26 years ago, Clover tried to recruit him, and then 4 years later, the Buster Call happened. Now that could have been Dr. Vegapunk. That could have been Vegapunk on Orihara with the Buster Call. Maybe Dr. Vegapunk would have seen that coming, but he already knew what the government was planning with Clover. He basically said to Clover that, yeah, they keep letting you go for a reason. They want all you guys at one point, so the government can get every remaining person that discovered the Void Century in one place and have a total massacre. In all due time, Dr. Vegapunk suffered the same fate as Clover. I just want you guys to actually reread this with me after the 26-year-old flashback of Dr. Vegapunk and Clover. Someone once told me, the voice of the past calls out to you. History is written by the victors, and the words of the vanquished are usually cast into a deep, dark ocean. That being said, their truth can still come to light if the oppressed carry it on their backs and endure it. And that last endure it panel, you see Robin holding her eyes, it's in grief. And I feel like that was so epic of Oda. The writing in these panels was so epic that I had to reread it to you guys. And speaking on endurance and sacrifice, we have to talk about Atlas. Now, everybody speculate that Lilith is going to be with the Straw Hats. Maybe, I'm hoping that, or she will be somewhere where who aligns with the Straw Hats. Hopefully, what I want to see, hopefully the Revolutionaries. But we've seen that Atlas made the ultimate sacrifice in this chapter, which was amazing. And I can't believe that Atlas actually did that. She's more human than what we thought. Knowing the full scale that they will live on, knowing that at least one satellite is still alive, that paves the way that Dr. Vegapunk will live on forever. The satellites will live on through Lilith. I think the sacrifice that Atlas made, similar to Pedro, that was great, and we needed that boost, right? So the Straw Hats on the sun can actually survive. So we all needed that moment from Atlas, so epic. And we seen that Ethan Burrow, his face was healing up and recovering. I just hope we're gonna see the weakness of the 5 elders instead of hearing it from some other source, right? Hopefully we see the weakness, and we may see that with the Iron Giant Emmet. Now Emmet in this chapter was epic, trying to say that he knows Luffy is Joy Boy, but we already know that will of Joy Boy carries on through Luffy in the Drums of Liberation that awakens Emmet. So Emmet tried to go up against Jupiter, but something had to malfunction when he tried to do a laser beam or shoot out a cannon on his left arm, and Jupiter took this time out to take a huge chunk out of Emmet's left side of his arm. And I only think this malfunction only preceded the fact that he needed to use this nuke light bomb maybe next chapter, because his rest of the attack forms maybe can't be used because of this source of power, or maybe that his malfunction was throughout his whole body. We don't know, but I think this is the only way that he could do something to save Joy Boy. Now 900 years is a long time to keep a hidden resource stable, and maybe this moment was thought of by Joy Boy, because it's crazy how how Joy Boy comes up with these moments and he knows what's going to happen in the future or happen with this prophecy. This prophecy is made by, you know, the Nika model, or it could be the prophecy of Luffy. And it also seems like Emmett is going to use this nuke-like bomb, a self-destructive bomb, the moment that Joy Boy gave him in next chapter, to maybe eliminate or just suppress these guys, these 5 elders, from going after Luffy and the Giants. Now, we already seen Marcus Mars shoot all the way to the stars, so he's not coming back anytime soon. We also can say that Luffy and the Giants and whoever is on the Giant ship will have a combined attack to knock J. Garcia Saturn off the ship, because he's on the ship right now, and the only way we got the ship is an amazing attack or a combined attack. We seen Brody and Dory against Eustass in his ship. Maybe that same attack will happen right here on J. Garcia Saturn. We are going to talk about the episode of Shanks versus Eustass at the end of this video, so stay tuned. But what I do want to say, the will that the Nika model has, the will that it has carried on from Joy Boy to Luffy, and only Luffy can listen to Emmett and hear Emmett's voice. That shows you that the will of Devil Fruits actually do carry on to the new user. And not to mention, again, Dr. Vegapunk mentions Gold D. Roger in these manga panels. So basically, Dr. Vegapunk said, yeah, Gold D. Roger knows what happened during the Void Century, and he heard it from the purest sources ever. And I'm pretty sure when he got the laugh tail, he heard it all. He knew everything that happened during Joy Boy's time. But will that be Luffy's case? Will we only know about the Void Century through the purest sources from Laugh Tale? I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that we would get that sooner than we get the Laugh Tale, because I'm pretty sure Laugh Tale is the only island that we may have peace at, and that's a long way from now. I just hope that we get everything we need to know on Elbaf about the Void Century. I hope we get everything we need to know about the Void Century, about Joy Boy on Elbaf, or right after Elbaf. Like, can we go to Silver Railing and just discover everything? Like, that would be a pure source that we can get all the information that we need from. So we left off with another cliffhanger of Emmett maybe using an ultimate weapon that would show the Gorosei's weakness. I'm hoping that it would show the Gorosei weakness. Maybe it would delay their, you know, recovery rate. And I'm hoping that, you know, Luffy and the Straw Hats and Giants can actually come to understand what their weakness may be. But you have to understand what I've been kind of saying is that Joy Boy maybe have clairvoyance, or he could understand things by touching it and seeing the future, but he can't see the future of himself. Now, I don't know where Joy Boy getting all this information from, and maybe this is one thing that Joy Boy does know that was going to happen to Emmett, that he's going to have to use this move to actually have the Straw Hats leave Egghead. But it's certain things, One Piece verse, that it seems like somebody's time traveling, but it seems like somebody knows actually a lot of what was going on in the future when they was occupying the Void Century. And I don't know if this seems correct, but it seems like someone had clairvoyance or could read the future and not just being part of the future, like Toki jumping from future to future. It seems like somebody could look inside of the future. Speaking of looking inside of the future, we seen this episode with, you know, Eustass versus Shanks, and it seemed like Shanks can look into the future about under a minute. That was amazing. I can say the animation was not my liking, but the way like Divine Departure was used, and the way how, you know, the anime is stretching it out to understand exactly what happened, you know, was great. I had no complaints really too much about the fighting, other than the animation. It was kind of lacking in my, but listen, it was so good. That was badass. I cannot see how the Straw Hats can defend against the Red Hair Pirates right now. If Luffy's gonna conquer this, you know, knowing he had to beat all the Yonko, I can't see where Luffy can beat Shanks right by now. Like, I understand Nika mode puts him on a top tier level, but Nika mode against Shanks, I don't think that fight will last too long unless Luffy can have the same haki as Shanks. And we gotta understand who's gonna teach him to that next level of haki. Like, how we're gonna get that in the Elbaf, I don't know, but who's gonna teach him how to defend against Shanks, who can lick under a minute in the future, and he can nullify Luffy's process of looking to the future. But the episode was an 8 out of 10. The fighting scenes was great, stretched out, amazing. To see the destructive power of Eustass, and he could have destroyed all those ships within seconds, was amazing. Ben Beckon wasn't a sideline doing nothing, but he said a whole lot to me. Shanks was amazing. Divine Departure was amazing. Good episode. I can't wait to see the next one. And this chapter right here, where we left off another cliffhanger by the Iron Giant Emmett, I can't wait to see the next chapter. And hopefully we're gonna see Eamon do something grand and amazing, and I'm pretty sure next chapter will be a 15, 100 out of 10 because the cliffhanger again. And if you know well how Oda goes off with these cliffhangers, it's gonna be so amazing. I can't say we're almost at the end of Egghead art. I can say probably a month or a month and a half maybe that we're gonna be off to Elbaf, and Oda still has to reveal something even more amazing. I don't know what that is, but hopefully we're gonna see that soon, maybe next chapter or chapter after that. His editors even said it, like there's still some things, that a big event that need to be announced. So check back with me on the next chapter. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to get more of me and more One Piece content. Always stay safe. Love you. Love yourself. Peace.